All right, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles of Jim that rule of well. And peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing, striving, waiting for the return of our Lord, Yahushua. And again, call Lord Yahbashim Yahushua for allowing us to allowing us to know the truth and giving us the light to see amongst the dark times. The video I have up that Shalaki. This is like the last generation of boys that, had fathers. And this was, the strategic plan that Esau did that befell on our people. So-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans. Because even, I remember, even amongst Gad, the so-called Native Americans, you had a different spirit out there. Meaning you had more of a rebellion and a revolting spirit. And then, during, the 50s, 40s, the early 1900s, you knew the so-called white man was the goddamn devil. The 1800s was not that far off. And, those was, crucial times. And, the 1700s, the 16, and the 1500s, the 1400s as well. And, roughly 1940, 50, that was like the last generation of real men, fathers. And prior to those, 1950, you had a lot of those jakes, those men, even the women. You had a lot of those men that, knew more of the history of what, what happened, what Esau did, hangings, etc. And even our women knew that, there was a war and that this devil wasn't on our side. But once we really got integrated with this place, that's when we really fell. This is Sirach 30, and this is bringing up children. And the children that the elder, the beloved elder Elder Karat Zaba in Baltimore did a video. I'm just gonna so I can just leave it at the gym. Elder Karat Zaba did a video about pretty much, this is the new generation of boys. So it says Sirach 30 and 1, this is the GNT. A father who loves his son will whip him often. And, man, men don't just go around beating the hell out of their children. And, again, Esau came with this madness. You can't touch your child. What is it? CPS, Child Protective Services will come in and, take away your child. And again, this is all, this was all ordained from, from the so-called white man to come in and take your children and mess up your boys and mess up your daughters so he can destroy them. God damn, this is Sodom and Gomorrah, boy. So that he can be proud of him later. Because when a boy doesn't have discipline and when a daughter doesn't have discipline, what will happen? They will bring you shame later. Meaning, because the obstacles, especially the obstacles we have today in this Edomite empire, hold on real quick. All right, Shalaki. So it says, a father who loves his son will whip him often so that he can be proud of him later. Because, and this is why a lot of kids are blindsided and get messed up mentally in this world, because unfortunately, our mothers ruled the household, and it was all ordained from Esau to destroy the father and leave our mother out there defenseless, because she'll eventually go back into the ones that oppressed them for aid and help. And going back to Willie Lynch, this was the plan. And again, Esau, and it's a Edomite I got to look up, man. He actually did studies on the so-called black woman. You know, there's been studies done on the so-called black woman's brain to bring out the fact that she would become good for economics, but and this is why you see when the father isn't present, or when the Israelite woman is in fear and in self-hatred, in mode of shock, again, she will, out of fear of her children, she will make them fucking weak mentally. So again, when your boys go out there, he's full of anger, he doesn't know what's going on, he's lost, the whole world is attacking him, his ego all messed up, he's not really wanted or needed. What do you expect from him to do? He will eventually succumb to the society. He smokes weed, drink. He just wants pleasure, and wherever it suits him beneficial to go, he'll do so. And what's going on now? The image for the so-called black man and the black and the Hispanic Latino man is to be a Mo. And for our women, our daughters, what is the image for them? To be a complete whore. The so-called black woman, starting with them on down, from the so-called Mexican woman, they are worse than Marilyn Monroe. And I've actually personally known a lot of black women and Hispanic women that was actually their idols. So going on, if a son is disciplined, he will be of some use, and his father can boast of him to his friends. Anyone who gives advice, good of guidance to his son can not only take pride in him among his friends, but he can make his enemies jealous. That's right. And that's one thing that the so-called white men did not want. Because, as a man, men understand war. Men are protectors. And men, again, this is the reason why the Lord dealeth with men. Men are very important. We build and we do a lot more. We have a very important role on this earth. We build up infrastructures, we rule, we infiltrate, we implement laws, statutes, commandments. We guide societies, we rule societies. We have the mental state to put somebody down if need to, or beat somebody, and we understand judgment. Again, we don't think with our emotion, we're logical. Men are logical. So it says, while the father is alive, the sight of his son makes him happy, and when he dies, he has no regrets. He is not really dead because his son is like him. So again, if a man was upright, if he has sons, he would teach his sons to be upright, and even his daughters, because a man does not want to see his daughter, out there naked, being a whore, jumping from rod to rod. So it says, he has left someone to take vengeance on his enemies and to return the favors he owes his friends. But anyone who spoils his son will have to bandage his wounds. Because again, if you don't discipline your son, he's going to shame you later on in life, because he's going to try, basically he's not well equipped for this society. And we understand here in America, the so-called black man has a very hard burden on his shoulders. He has a very big boulder on his shoulders. And I mean, if you leave America, you get a little bit of ease and a little bit of better treatment, just a little bit. You'll feel a little bit welcoming, but you still feel a little bit of the hatred. But again, when you come here, you just feel, when you come back to America, it's like you feel that dark presence here. And, you're a nigger. You got, here in America, you're nothing but a nigger. Even if you're kicking out bread, you're still nothing but a nigger. So it says his heart will stop every time he hears a shout. And untamed horse is going to be stubborn, and undisciplined son is no different. That's right. And I always say this, man. Me riding horses and having a horse. If you don't break that horse at an early age, that horse can hurt you when it gets older. And pretty much that horse is really of no fucking use. All he's going to be doing is eating up your fucking your food, eating up the food in the yard. In the lawn, the grass, whatever the horse is at. He might bite you. He may not respect you. Can't ride him. He's no fucking use, man. So if you pamper your child and play with him, he will be a disappointment and a source of grief. Laugh with him now, and one day you will have to cry over him, grinding your teeth in regret. You see that? Don't give him freedom while he is young, and don't overlook what he does wrong. Because again, children don't know no better. That's why, as a parent, you have to teach them. That's why, as parents, you have to be very careful how you act, how you conduct yourself, and who they be around. And unfortunately, everything is fucked up now. So, we're living in a very fucked up time in this world, because everybody is in gross darkness. So it says, whip him while he is still a child and make him respect your authority. That's right, because if a child doesn't have no authority or respect the authority in the household, he'll think he dominates the house. He'll walk around with no fear. And again, remember, man, we this is Jake kids, man. They're different. We all know this. We all have seen this, man. And that's why a lot of these kids, when they grow up in these single mother households, they go outside the house and cause so much damage and destruction, because there's no fear in them. So they'll go out, disrespect other men, disrespect other property, etc. It's a lot. Again, when there's no discipline, anything can fucking happen to a kid, because again, he just walks around thinking he can do what he wants. Entitlement. So it says, if you don't, he will be stubborn and disobedient and cause you nothing but sorrow. That's right. So discipline your son and give him work to do, or else he will be an embarrassment to you. And that's true, man. Seriously. Now I'm gonna go and play the video. This is like the last, generation.
A little piece of it. Say we build a big brick wall and say the same thing.
What's that?
That they have a little side, and we build a big wall so they can never get over. And we have a big side.
Why would you do that?
And on the other end of it. So they won't get on our side.
You think they just mess up or what?
They'd be trapped if they try to get over, we'll shoot them.
Well, why would you do that? You think they deserve that?
They deserve it, yep.
Why?
Because they killed some of us. They chained some of us. They whipped some of us. Yeah. And they stabbed some of us. Yeah. They shot some of us.
This will pay you back, huh?
Yeah. But they're not good. But this is not the least good, too. But putting a brick wall there and not shooting them but doing what they did is not as worse as they did to us.
Now, and who you think taught them that, man? Who do you think taught them, what happened to our people? The father, man. Men. And me personally, now, my mother told me certain things about what they did, but overall, all I've heard, and also even and how I'm gonna say this. It was the fact that my mother listened and grew up listening to Benjamin music. But my grandmother, man, she was a fucking coon. And that's the church. That's when church polluted our people. But the fact is, and I don't want to be all everywhere, but I never really heard mothers and women talk anything about injustice growing up. What I've heard from mothers, and I've seen it personally, all women did was basically make you worldly, taught you, always try to mold you and, try to cuddle you. Out of all the problems that you would go through, all they did was like cuddle you, bandage you, and, say, you can make it and do something in this world. That's saying, oh, it's going to be all okay, baby. Don't worry about them. You got to do you, and, whatever, you can do whatever you want if you put your mind into it. The chummy yummy shit, man. But, my point is this, man. I never really heard a mother or mothers talk anything about the white man was the devil. The white man's your enemy. You got to watch out for them. They're no good. They bring you no good. All they do is bring harm. And now going back to, let me see. What's the, your holy defenders. The beloved elder. Damn it. I think Holy Bible Defenders. Those rocking. Alright, here we go. Oh, there you go, right there. This video right here. It's clear why they want strong black Eve to raise Jake. Total influence. And that's the video that I came across. And I was like, yo, I gotta, land back off of this because, it's evident. When the father's in the house and when the father is in his right mind, he's going to tell his children what's really going on, even his daughters. He's going to raise his daughter in a certain way, in a certain fashion, that she will be protected by another righteous man as him. But since Esau broke the man image, and locked Jacob, and if he even try to correct the so-called black woman, because yes, the black fucking woman gets out of fucking hand with her mouth, etc., and it involves, fucking harm and fucking raising your hand. If you say anything like, oh my God, listen, now what's the now the only way you're going to fix this problem, okay, all you so-called black woman lovers and fucking worshipers, right? If you want to clean up the so-called black community now, or the so-called Latino Hispanic community now, you're going to have to put these bitches put them out of their misery, man. There's no saving the fucking so-called black woman, man. There's no going in talking to these kids that were produced by these single black women. They're fucking gone. And look at them. While the video's playing, this video is playing. You're seeing, the destruction. This is what they have done, And this is why the so-called white man allowed these women, hurt, broken, fucked up mentally women, to rule our communities. And if the so-called black man tried to step in and did anything about it, he locked their asses up, threw away the key. And it's funny as hell too, man, because Africa diaspora. It's something I want to point out real quick. real quick. This happened like 4 years ago. Here it is right here. Hood chick berates black man for attempting to defend her from abusive Asian business owner. Now these so-called black men tried to, okay, what happened was, I know brothers probably seen the video. Go back to Africa. It was a so-called Asian man that hit and, beat up the so-called black woman that came in the store. She had to go get stitches. But the thing about it, the Mobite, the Gook, and he didn't get locked up. Asians, they got hate. Jake beat up them, and they got a fucking hate crime introduced that day. But you had this yeah, she go right there, yeah. This chick that's speaking, she got, Moab beat the hell out of her. And then these so-called black men, try to protect what Moab did was he dropped everything in the store 50% off. And if you watch this video, man, the nigga woman is lined the fuck up, man. And it was already a mass multitude of black women in the store. So they had to, put a stop. And so-called black women, it was a lot of them standing outside the store to get in. And then you had a whole parking lot filled up. And you had these Jake, the so-called black man that's tried, telling them, yo, stop going in the fucking store. Stop giving them, the goddamn money. You making them Mobites rich. And look, and she came right over there and was talking all types of shit with a blackened mouth in her hand, man. And now here it is. If the so-called black man would go to beat the black woman up, that nigga, I don't want to say nigga, but they would have shut him down. You would have had 10 million black. You would have had the bitch. What's her name? Cynthia G. She would have devoured. She would have devoured the content up. The black man. Then all on the so-called black Twitter and everywhere else, you would have seen, the so-called black man, he beat up the black woman. He needs to be shut down. But here it is, the Mobite doesn't get shut down, So my point is saying this, man, Esau the fucking devil. He deliberately did this to the so-called black man so he cannot have protection and guidance and, no type of, power in his community or his neighborhood. And it's, again, prior to 1950s, the 60s, when the so-called black man had somewhat of a stand in his house. After that, what you just saw, Elder Karatazaba from Baltimore, that's what you see now, a bunch of faggots, man. I'm gonna just say like this, and who gives a damn if this video gets cut off, man, or get cut, deleted, whatever. But hey, that's pretty much it, man. Hey, so long.